all Canada has to do is comply. Wow. By helping with illegal immigration, y'all aren't in favor of that? So let's just be very clear about something. Canada already has much stricter and harsher immigration and border enforcement laws than we do in the United States. Our immigration problems are not the fault of Canada. It's the fault of us. How many immigration laws have we passed in your lifetime or mine? Why is it that in Canada, if you employ an illegal immigrant, the punitive damages, the fines are over 30 times greater than they are in the United States? And oh, by the way, they're not even enforced in the United States. Basically what this is the United States can't get their shit together, and immigration is a political football, so it'll never be solved. So, Donald Trump wants to put on a show for his followers because he's like, Biff from Back to the Future. So, like a high school kid on social media, he tries to troll world leaders and because it gets him praise and attention from his followers who have no comprehension or understanding of how global trade and negotiations work. They don't understand that every action Donald Trump takes towards this is completely counterproductive to getting the results we want to get. So Justin Trudeau, being the weak, very weak leader that he is, and Donald Trump probably recognized this, he flies his ass down to Mar-a-Lago, which, oh my God, are you kidding me? So he is so weak that he flies down to Mar-a-Lago to speak to Donald Trump. And all of this supposedly went very well, except for the fact that since that happened, Donald Trump has continued to troll him on the internet. Probably because, as Hawk pointed out, Donald Trump just cannot handle the way Melania and Ivanka look at Justin Trudeau. You see, this is not the type of thing that you do publicly to humiliate or shame other world leaders. That is unbelievably counterproductive. But he's not doing it to produce results. He's doing it to produce attention and love from his followers who think it's just great. And for those who say this is a negotiating tactic, that's even worse. The top 3 signs of a weak negotiator are 1, being unprepared, 2, complaining, and 3, being too aggressive. If you believe for 1 second that Donald Trump has any understanding or comprehension of how tightly connected and interwoven U.S. and Canadian energy is, and if you think he understands that over 1 million Americans get electricity from Canada, if you think he understands that over 1 million Americans receive natural gas from Canada, he understands none of that. He doesn't understand how completely interwoven this system is. He has no knowledge of that. Now, I always put being too aggressive at the top of the list of a weak negotiator. When I'm dealing with someone who's overly aggressive, I know I'm about to hit a grand slam every time. And it doesn't happen that often, but it usually happens with young white men who are very insecure and don't know how to negotiate. And I can spot them from a mile away. Like it is, and it's like Christmas time when you're negotiating with those people. And that's how Donald Trump negotiates. If the OPEC 2020 deal isn't a sign of what an unbelievably just incompetent negotiator Donald Trump is, I don't know what is. That is literally the worst deal that any world leader has ever made with other nations, including the purchase of Alaska. So no, it is not that people aren't in favor of us solving our immigration problems and working with our allies and closest neighbors in doing so. We are not in favor of the complete and utter waste of time all of this is, because it's not about solving immigration problems. It's about Donald Trump needing attention from his followers. and needing to be in the news. It's about the fact that it's not bad enough that the media and politicians have done everything they can to drive a wedge between Americans. Now Donald Trump is trying to drive a wedge between Americans and Canadians for some reason. I have no idea why. Now, I will give Donald Trump credit for recognizing what a weak leader Justin Trudeau is, but the way he tried to use that against him was far overreaching and counterproductive. Justin Trudeau is so weak that Donald Trump likely could have brought him in privately and met with him with some other handlers, and he probably could have got most of what he wanted in this deal, easily. But he decided to make a public spectacle of it, and he decided to insult him repeatedly. And now he's pissed off a lot of the leaders in Canada. So this just escalates and escalates. And I don't see this escalating to the point that everyone's concerned about. I don't see Canada cutting us off or us cutting Canada off. I really don't believe that'll happen. But I do know one thing for sure. Donald Trump's not going to get anything that he wanted out of this at all. And that's his own fault because he doesn't know what he's doing. Donald Trump is like the head coach of an NFL football team who insists on calling the offensive plays, even though he has no business doing it, but he insists on doing it because he's the head coach. That's who Donald Trump is. And I'll end with this. It doesn't really matter what happens because when this is all over with, Donald Trump is going to claim victory. And all of his followers are going to believe it anyway. This is a show. This is like a movie. None of this is reality. Yeah, understand that. Thanks.